HarperCollins and HarperAudio present The Price: What It Takes to Win in College Football's Era of Chaos, by Armen Keteyian and John Talty. Read by Will Damron. From Armen to Dee, the love of my life for going on 45 years, and to our grandson Brooks and granddaughter Kaya, our two new bundles of joy. From John to my son Jack, my reason for everything I do, and my mom, Kathy, who has encouraged my writing career every step of the way. Prologue. Jim Harbaugh looked over at Nick Saban, seemingly incredulous that he had gone there. The press conference the day before a playoff game was typically awkward, with most of the game's storylines long played out and everyone just ready to get on with it, but this one especially so. The Michigan sign-stealing scandal loomed over the Rose Bowl, inflamed by Alabama players saying earlier that week they had changed their pregame preparation out of fear their iPads could be hacked. It was yet another impugnation of Harbaugh and his Michigan Wolverines, who had become college football's biggest villains that 2023-24 season. Saban and Harbaugh had a complicated history. There was mutual respect for what the other had accomplished, but not much warmth between them. Harbaugh's 2015 barnstorming camp tour of SEC country irked Saban, who said it was bad for college football. Harbaugh returned fire, posting, "Alabama broke NCAA rules, and now their HC is lecturing us on the possibility of rules being broken at camps. Truly amazing." When they later met in the 2020 Citrus Bowl, some believed Saban was trying to send a message when he let running back Najee Harris score a touchdown with 26 seconds left in a game that had already been decided in the Crimson Tide's favor. Against that background, Saban and Harbaugh mostly played nice, sitting a few feet apart from each other as journalists lobbed general game questions at them. Then, with the last question of the press conference, a reporter asked Saban if he was concerned about Michigan's sign-stealing scandal. After initially saying that he wasn't particularly concerned, Saban started off on the integrity of the game, as Harbaugh fidgeted, listening to the Alabama head coach talk about his program. Saban wrapped up his answer this way: "We just have to adapt to how we communicate with the quarterback, and we'll change it up and try to not put our players at a disadvantage in any way." At those words, Harbaugh turned to his right, looked at Saban, and smirked over the Alabama head coach even dignifying the question. Saban had a chance to shut down the sign-stealing talk and instead said Alabama was adapting to it so it wasn't at a disadvantage. It was one more arrow, one more indignity for the black hat of college football. The next day, the sun-dappled San Gabriel Mountains proved the perfect Southern California backdrop for a battle between a feared dynasty led by an aging king and an iconic Midwest program boasting the most wins in college football history, undefeated #1 Michigan versus #4 and once-beaten Alabama, playing for a shot at a national championship in the sport's most iconic venue. It had been a harrowing journey to Pasadena for both head coaches and their teams. Saban's Crimson Tide had been left for dead after an early season home loss to Texas and a slipshod win over South Florida, only to recover and reel off 10 straight wins to sneak into the college football playoff over Florida State for the final spot. Many believed it was Saban's finest coaching job in 17 seasons in Tuscaloosa. On the other side stood a head coach who found himself in the middle of one controversy after another. Forced to serve 2 separate 3-game suspensions, the face of the notorious sign-stealing scandal was
Sample complete. Ready to continue?